Royals starting pitchers have turned KC's fortune from an 8-game losing streak to a 3-game win streak. Danny Duffy, Yordano Ventura, and Edinson Volquez passed the baton, and now it's up to Chris Young to carry it as the Royals try to inch closer to the division-leading Indians. KC goes for the series win next. It's a hot evening in Kansas City, where we come to you from Kauffman Stadium for Game 2 of this series between the Indians and the Kansas City Royals. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Hi, everybody. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler with you. The Royals won an important game last night against the division-leading Cleveland Indians by a score of 2-1, and at the foundation of their recent success, winning 3 in a row, is starting pitching.
It is, Fizz, and it's coming at the right time. The boys are heating up. With 9 straight games against the Central Division, the Royals can find themselves up on top, right where they want to be.
Let's check out the Quicken Loans Rocket Arms. Those guys have been Danny Duffy on Saturday, Yordano Ventura on Sunday, Eddie Volquez last night.
That's right. You know what? The internal competition is heating up. 3 straight quality starts. How about passing that baton on to Chris Young? He has the skills and he has the experience to pull it off. Can he keep that ball in the yard? That's going to be the big question. Now, the ERA in his early season numbers are not pretty by Major League standards, that's for sure. But Ned Yost has confidence in his veteran starter to go out and keep that line moving as far as starters go. Let's see.
Josh Tomlin will oppose Chris Young tonight. When we come back, we'll talk about Chris, the 6'10", the right-hander out of Dallas, Texas. Tonight, Chris Young will head to the Hill, and Hud, Chris Young is a guy who loves pitching at Kauffman Stadium.
We showed you the numbers previously. They weren't that impressive, but these are. And this is very important. Volquez, whom he's following, had great numbers at the K. So does Young. He's confident. Look at that bigger ballpark, more spacious. The earned run average, the opponent's average. Everything's looking good. Hopefully he can continue the mastery on the mound.
And our key in the driver's seat is Chris Young gets a lot of fly ball outs, and this is a big ballpark.
It is, Fizz, and you know what? That doesn't lie, and most numbers don't. Fly ball percentage 71.2? Man, that's great. Now he'll take the ground ball out once in a while, especially in a double play situation. Keep the fly balls coming.
When we come back, Jeff Montgomery will talk about Josh Tomlin, tonight's Cleveland starter. That's next. Minutes until the first pitch. Let's bring in Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery to tell us about tonight's Cleveland starter, Josh Tomlin.
Yeah, because we're going to see Josh Tomlin go out. He's not the most famous Cleveland Indians pitcher, but he's having an outstanding year with 8 wins on the season, and he is our Toyota League leader. So we're going to look at his strikeout to walk particularly. Going to see more strikeouts, not going to see a lot of walks from Josh Tomlin, only 7 on the season. Now, however, because he throws so many strikes, he is also susceptible to giving up the long ball, and that's one of the byproducts of filling up that strike zone. You're going to be hittable a lot, so that's one of the things the Royals will hopefully do, hit some balls out of the ballpark tonight.
Thank you very much, Monty. And when we come back, Joel Goldberg will talk the Royals offense picking up their power. That's next.
That helped the Royals win last night, and a home run by Whit Merrifield. Joel Goldberg back at the ballpark. The first 8 games of June, the Royals hit just 3 homers, but the last 6 games, they have had 8 home runs. And as we see in our Kubota power stats, those home runs, which actually came over the last 4 games, have included a very high slugging percentage for the team over the last 6. And so the Royals offense starting to come around a little bit more. They are hitting some home runs, so the question will be, why more homers of late?
Just maybe, getting ourselves in some good counts. I think a lot of the guys, especially a lot of the guys that have just came up, have kind of made their adjustments, and they have their game plans going in. So it could be just executing the game plans a little better, maybe getting a little more comfortable, or maybe a mixture of all those things.
Now I want to see some guys on base. Their last 10 home runs, go get them, Jersh, have been of the solo variety. Biz and Hud are back next.
Ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit us at yourmidwestforddealers.com. Welcome back to the K, where the Royals have won 7 straight home games, and it is a hot one in Kansas City. The temperature 10 degrees warmer than last night, Hud, when the Royals won 2-1. Hot and humid, and for a fly ball pitcher, that could mean trouble.
Well, it has been an issue for Chris Young this season. You see the home runs hit off of him have been 17, and I can tell you that 22 of his 29 runs allowed have come on that home run ball, but he has the ability to get these guys to pop up and hit some fly balls that stay in the ballpark. Now, Ned Yost is counting on Chris Young. He has a lot of confidence in him. Before the game, he was telling me that if he has that great finish on his fastball, he has a little bit of hop on that fastball, should be good enough to keep these guys in the park.
No change in that Cleveland Indians batting order, with Santana leading off, then Jason Kipnis, who went deep in the 8th inning. Lindor, they were able to quiet him, and then Mike Napoli, who's played very well for the Indians this year with 45 RBIs. Santana 0 for 3 last night with a walk, and he is just 4 for 32 against the Royals this year, a guy who has done damage to Kansas City pitching in the past.
Chris Young, fastball, slider, changeup. 88 to 89. Might see some 90s as far as velocity goes. He has been throwing his fastball less this year than he has in the past. 13% less. More sliders. For a lot of pitchers, the key is to stay down in the zone. But for Chris Young and all of his career, he's been able to really master the upper part of that strike zone until this season. The reason he's given up so many home runs, he had a forearm issue and he wasn't being able to finish his pitches. Salvi's got some glove incidents there, and you know what? That glove's right there going to Kyle Turner, the glove doctor. Okay, he's going to throw it right to Kyle Turner. The glove doctor paging the glove doctor. Two-seamer. It's a good sign if Chris Young's 88 can get through Salvi's glove.
Salvador Perez, three-time Gold Glove winner, and there is assistant athletic trainer Kyle Turner.
You have to have a glove doctor in every dugout. I don't care what level of baseball it is. There's sometimes that breaks down, and if you have a guy with skills in there that can lace it, relace it, hook it up, that's a beautiful thing for a player who's comfortable with his glove. It's like a carpenter with his hammer and his tools. Those are important for him to go and do his work and do that. Player, same difference.
Santana swings and misses at that slider, and it is a good one that Chris Young has. How about the Kansas City Royals around the horn defense, brought to you by Ford?
Hey, the double plays have been really special. Pitchers will tell you it's their best friend. It saves the pitch count and it helps them get out of jams at times. Now, how about the glove doctor we were just talking about, Kyle Turner? Salvi it's already been fixed, and he's got his gamer again. Way to go, Kyle.
That's quick work. More than the guy with the hammer and nails you were talking about.
No, we got to get Joel to do a special on this guy. People they need to know about what he does and how it happens and all the leather strings he has in there. That's interesting stuff.
Now Jason Kipnis, a .272 hitter this year, and we told you belted a home run off Herrera in the 8th inning last night to close it to 2-1. But the Royals were able to turn 3 double plays, and 2 were at critical times. 3-0. Making sure those laces are perfect. Outside, ball 4. First walk by Young, 15th this year by Chris in a little more than 41 innings. His last start was on June 5th, 9 days ago. Lost to Cleveland 7-0. Gave up 5 runs in 4 2/3 innings.
Chris Young in 41 innings pitched coming into this game has not induced a ground ball double play all season. We already told you, we chronicled it. 71% fly balls off hitters' bats.
Kipnis, meantime, 3 for 4. Francona likes a team that will run, and Cleveland will do just that. They're just ahead of the Royals in stolen bases with 44. Royals with 43.
But you know, they're going to run off Chris Young. They always have. At his height, you know, he's got to be able to control his mechanics. He doesn't have that pick-off ability, but there's a lot of pitchers that don't have that. So he's going to just trust Salvi. Don't worry about the base runner. He never does.
Well, he has missed on his last 6 pitches after striking out Carlos Santana.
The base stealers are 5 for 5 off of Chris Young's starts this year.
In there, 2-1. LINDOR, one of the most talented young players in the game, just 22 years old, out of Puerto Rico. He was a career .279 hitter in the minor leagues and over .300 now in the bigs, and a little over 1 full season, because it was about this time last year when they called him up from the minors, and he made his debut. Hit .313 last year. Three and one.
But you know, over his last 8 games, Lindor's cooled off. He's just hitting 192. 1 double, 1 homer. 4 ribbies. After walking the previous batter, Kipnis, he'll probably be taken here. 3 and 1. Ooh.
He was swinging at that slider, expecting a fastball, and Chris gave him the pitch that he's been able to command the best thus far.
If he throws it 3-1, he'll throw a 3-2. Good location.
Runner goes. Pitch is fouled off.
And there'll be some times tonight, if there's any runners get on there and try to attempt to steal second base, that Salvi does not have to make the throw if they get a huge jump. Even risks throwing it away.
Kipnis does not go. The pitch is swung on and drilled up the middle. Kipnis will stop at second base.
Second base umpire Gary Cederstrom. A little wake-up call there. That ball came whistling off of that bat in the upper 90s. Four-seamer. He knew it was coming. Didn't try to do too much with it. Look at the little one-hand takeoff. Watch Cederstrom. Whoop.
There's Gary, who's the crew chief. Jim Wolf is the guy behind the plate. He's calling balls and strikes. Ramon DeJesus is at first base and Eric Cooper at third. Mike Napoli. Ball one. Edinson Volquez said he had a difficult time in the first inning last night finding his arm slot. He walked the bases loaded, but then was able to get out of it by getting Lonnie Chisenhall on a ground ball to second. And then he would follow with 6 more shutout innings.
The Tribe, they're hitting .252 with runners in scoring position as a team.
The Indians have been a little quiet on this current road trip. Their pitching staff has carried them in their victories. They're only batting .202 as a team with 68 strikeouts. To third. Cuthbert has it. Merrifield for 1. First base for 2. Wow. Was 4 double plays in this series, Hud.
First double play induced by Young all season. Love the sign. That's a good sign.
He'll be followed by Escobar, then Hosmer and CAIN, and Salvador Perez has upped that average to 290. He had 3 more hits yesterday, but for Merrifield, he belted his first home run last night in the big leagues, and he is our Honda most trusted player.
Yeah, I just kept wondering to myself when he was going to hit one, because he's got some pop, that's for sure. In a full season, I think he can go 10 to 15 homers. He's well-rounded. I love the triple special, even though Chisenhall gave it to him. He'll take it.
And look at the sun staring in Lonnie Chisenhall's face in right field.
Hit it to right.
First pitch is outside for ball 1. This is Josh Tomlin, who is 8-1 this year. He is tied for second in the American League in wins, first in fewest walks per 9 innings. A control guy.
He is a control guy. 7 walks, 67 in the 3rd innings. And for an aggressive offense like the Royals, you love that. You like guys that are right around the plate. Free swingers.
To right field, and it will drop foul.
He's got 4 pitches he'll utilize. As you see the sun in Chisenhall's eyes. Now, there was no sun in his eyes last night. He just misplayed the ball, thought it had topspin when it had backspin.
Home run in my book, Whit.
Believe it.
Got a lot of fans here in Kansas City.
Fastball, cut fastball, curveball, changeup, or Josh Tomlin's pitches.
To center field, NAQUIN racing back. He will get there and make the catch over his shoulder. 1 out. In today's game, we're participating in the home run challenge. Today, every Royals home run in this game raises $7,400 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. Tomlin's last start, June 9th. No decision in a 5-3 Cleveland win over Seattle. Pitched very well, gave up 2 hits and 6 in the 3rd innings. No walks. Escobar takes it upstairs over a ball. To short, Francisco Lindor. 2 outs.
Cleveland Indians defense. They're about middle of the pack as far as errors go, but they do have a Whit Merrifield. His name is Jose Ramirez. Look at the spots he's played: second, third, short, left, and he's hitting 300. Oh, excuse me, 298. But he's been a big shot in the arm for Terry Francona, just like Whit Merrifield. Gotta love the versatility of these young players.
Yeah, he just dropped under 300 after last night's ball game when he went 0 for 3. And here is Hosmer hitting .318, 12 home runs. Haas only 5 for 25 against Tomlin in his career, Rex, but 2 of those are home run. Big ballpark here in Kansas City, but he can hit it out of any yard.
Sure can. All fields too. Haas's power is left center. And you can tell by the way the defense is playing him. Very slight pull on the infield. The left side, Ramirez is in the hole at short. That's the only difference. He's over here trying to cover that spot because Haas has gotten a majority of his hits to left field.
Popped him up, foul territory, long run for Jose, but he gets there, and Tomlin gets the Royals in order. used his defense to get out of trouble in the first inning, and the Royals have now turned 3 straight double plays in 3 straight innings.
And that is good fortune for Young, especially. Hasn't induced a ground ball double play all season.
Now Jose Ramirez, he was 0 for 3 last night, hit into one of those double plays.
What was so special about the double play was Whit Merrifield. Watch him handle the bad throw. It wasn't a bad throw, but it was down. Watch him pick it. They call that picking and grinning. And then he throws from a different arm angle. Sometimes you have to throw from that different arm angle. You like to on a routine ball to get on top and throw it straight across the diamond to the first baseman because you get a straighter throw. But sometimes when that ball's down low, you got to pick it and grin just like he did.
Chris Young only induced 1 double play last year and already has his first this year, and gets a swing and a miss and evens the count at 2-2. And he had a terrific year last year, winning 11 games with a 3.06 ERA. And general manager Dayton Moore said he may have been our pitching MVP because he started. He was middle relief. He did whatever the team needed to win.
You know what's so impressive about John Smoltz? I love John Smoltz. I'm listening to him on the MLB Network, and they're just before the World Series starts, and he gets the last word. He says, I think Chris Young is going to help them win the World Series. You watch. Chris Young is going to factor in. And Billy Ripken and all the guys were looking at him going, what, are you crazy? And he was right.
Game 1 of the World Series last year in extra innings. Huge performance. That ball hit well to center field, but CAIN right there. He'll make the catch. Hang out with your friends at the K every Wednesday home game, which is tomorrow against these Indians, for only $10. And with your school ID, you get to enjoy a happy hour special at the Boulevard Grill concession stand as you enjoy listening to local live music at the outfield experience stage before the game. Visit Royals.com/student night for the full list of bands and also for tickets. Here is Chisenhall. Good game last night, 2 for 3 with a walk. One mistake though he made was in right field, and that cost his team a run in the first. Misplayed the Merrifield triple.
Well, yeah, Fizz, you know what? It's tough. It's very hard. Physical mistakes are going to happen. It's the mental mistakes that get you in trouble in this game. That was a physical mistake. Happens. Hard to read low liners like that. That's the toughest ball for an outfielder. You've heard me say it time and time again. Why? Because I know. You got to freeze. You got to pick up the ball on contact. You got to see what kind of rotation. The sound of the bat. The way he swung at it. Was he off balance? All those things an outfielder has to read.
Three and 1 to Chisenhall.
Mental mistakes get you in trouble with your manager. And those happen too.
And I would imagine if you're a big guy, let's say Hosmer or Salvador Perez, and they swing the bat, an outfielder's initial move is to go back. But a guy like Merrifield, a little smaller, it might be to take a step in.
You are correct. The bigger and stronger the hitter, the more times an outfielder is going to take a step back than in.
So Chisenhall at first base. Yan Gomes the batter. Yan hit into 2 double plays last night. One in the 6th when they had 2 on and only 1 out. And the other came against Wade Davis in the 9th after Chisenhall had led the inning off with a single. And then a quick Escobar to Merrifield to Hosmer double play, and Wade Davis had 2 outs, nobody on.
Fizz, if I may, while it's still in my small brain, we talk about playing in Japan, and every 2 weeks they gave out fight money. They gave out yen, cash, and that was for being the player of the game. And every 2 weeks they'd have a meeting, and on the outside of the envelope with the cash was red. And there was red in Japanese written, and the Japanese teammates told me, I said, man, what's all that red for? They said, we take money out. They take money out for mental mistakes. And I had a ton of them.
Give me an example of a mental mistake that you lost money.
What the head coach thought was a mental mistake. And over there, they were pretty strict. You know, they expected you to be perfect, especially coming from America in the majors.
I needed an example.
Yes, I make mental mistakes all the time. For missing a sign, for maybe overthrowing the cutoff man or something. That's more physical. But you know, I didn't even know the mistakes I made, but they were all on there. They had them documented. I'd forgotten all of them.
Were the signs in Japanese?
No. All right, let's move on.
Hit to center field. CAIN read it perfectly and makes the catch. 2 out. Well, this is more like Chris Young getting those fly ball outs, and where he just gets the offense to miss-hit that pitch where they don't square it up.
And you know, that's a lot of it is the deception of his tall frame, 6'10". Hard for the hitters. I've heard them tell me to pick up that rotation and to pick up his release point because he kind of short arms it. Hides the ball well.
This outfield defense is as fast as any in the game, with Dyson in left, CAIN in center, and Orlando in right.
More sliders than fastballs. You rarely see that in the game. Very few changeups. And you rarely see a starter use just 2 pitches. Now a reliever who comes in for an inning, yeah, Mariano Rivera only needed 1 pitch, a cutter. But for a guy who's going to face a lineup 2-3 times through the order, it's pretty impressive what he's done. So hitters are going to sit on one or the other. Mainly it's the fastball they'll sit on. With 2 strikes, they're going to go up there and just try to put it in play. But Young needs a good start for confidence.
Tried to work NAQUIN upstairs and get him to chase. Ahead in the count at 0-2. Now it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Oh, by the way, that play that NAQUIN made off of Merrifield's bat was a very nice play. Lead off out. The ball was hit a ton to the opposite field, and he made it look easy.
He was the best outfielder in the Big 12 Conference a few years back. Big 12 Player of the Year at Texas A&M, and he played right field for the Aggies. They've moved him to center field, but his right field arm was as good as anybody in the college game in 12.
Well, he's been impressive so far.
Chris staying upstairs. Has he perhaps set him up for that slider?
It's very possible. And it's not a lateral breaking slider where it's flat. Those that move across the zone get hit more. His goes straight down.
Hit sharply past Hosmer into right field, and Chisenhall will make it to third as NAQUIN comes through.
Pitch stayed up. His eyes lit up at this location, right in the middle. Haas, extremely quick, but just not that quick.
Now number 9 hitter Rajay Davis. He's had a rough time the last 7 games, just 4 hits, 26 at bats, and that's seen his batting average drop below 250 for the first time in a while. He's at 248. Cleveland was 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position last night. Runner goes, pitch taken, throw by Salvi. Not in time. Second and third with 2 out. That's NAQUIN's first stolen base.
So Merrifield, smart. He's played a ton of games in the minors. Knows when the throw's short, come and get it with a runner at third. So he put his body in front in case it got by him.
One ball, two strikes. That was the first stolen base of young Tyler Naquin's career. Ground ball, second. Merrifield has it. Davis is out. So are the Indians. They leave two more. And Young has stranded 3 in his first 2 innings. It was great weather for the Paul Splittorff Golf Tournament, and it was at Lakewood Oaks Golf Course, benefiting the Wellness Center at St. Mary's Manor, and all kinds of former alums were there, like Dennis Leonard you just saw. Brian McRae was there. Great cause.
Was that Mac that just dropped a little 3-footer?
Think so?
Way to go, Mac.
Josh Tomlin now will face Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo 0 for 4 in game 1 last night. He has moved to that cleanup spot. This is his 5th game in that role as they pushed Hosmer to the 3 position, with Merrifield taking over as the leadoff.
Got some good numbers against Tomlin.
Ooh, wow. Boy, he uses that high fastball, and Cain debates the call with Jim Wolf.
That's a great pitch to hit. Oh man, that's belt high. It's saying hit me out of the yard.
He struck a lot of Royals out on that pitch in his last start in Progressive Field. Set him up off speed or with that cut fastball, and then went above the belt. Well, Perez is the one guy who has unbelievable numbers against the Cleveland right-hander. 13 for 20.
And I'm not surprised, because Salvi's a free swinger, and when you're facing a guy that throws strikes, every pitch looks good except for that one. That had some really good depth on that curve. It eliminates the thinking for a hitter. You go up there, you feel confident, you know you're going to get something to hit. Except when you're down 0-2, he's going to maybe try to get you to swing out of the strike zone, but for the most part, it eliminates the thinking. Just go up and react, and that's what you want to do anyway as a hitter.
In there, strike 3 called. Command is his key.
Okay, it's early, and the Royals are trying to figure out Jim Wolf, home plate umpire, strike zone. It looked like that was a little bit inside. Salvi normally is hacking at anything close.
Tomlin has to love that because he's a guy who works those corners, and if you give him that much of the plate, it could be a long night for the offense.
It's going to give you something good to hit. Last 2 starts here at the K for Tomlin. He has an 8 ERA. That's in 9 innings pitched. 3 home runs. Hitters hitting .350, so they've done it before.
Kendrys Morales slowly coming out of that slump. His last 6 games, 7 hits and 22 times up. Fouled off. 1-2.
Okay, so home plate umpire calls that high strike. You're going to see guys swinging at that just like that. They're going to be looking up there now. Yan Gomes, we've seen him come up out of his crotch, wanting to Tomlin to execute the high pitch above the belt.
And that's whacked to right field for a base hit. So Morales, the first base runner for Kansas City.
Hanging breaking ball stayed up in the zone. He's going to pull those. And that's how you hit it through the shift.
Paulo Orlando will get a shot at the right-hander. Ray Fuentes has been seeing a lot of time in right field lately because Ray's been the hot hitter. Fouled back.
Good swing. Paulo shaking his head yes, like yeah, I was right on that. Whenever you foul it straight back to the screen, you're on it.
Continues to pound Orlando inside so he doesn't get those arms extended. I mean, Josh Tomlin was not expected to be part of the rotation when spring training began, but when Terry Francona put Trevor Bauer in the bullpen, Tomlin got the nod and he responded in a big way. 8-1. Another shot to right field. That's a base hit. Morales will stop at second.
So not surprised to see Royals early swinging on Tomlin because they know he's going to throw a strike. That's a cutter that said hit me right over the middle of the plate. So facing Tomlin, you got to go up with your hitting shoes on, ready to swing. It's not a guy you're going to try to wait out, because if you do, he'll get you.
And he has admitted that as much in the past. He says, I'm not interested in 1-2 or 0-2. He goes, I want to get the guy out on the first or second pitch.
Yeah, and that means it's going to keep him in games longer and conserve his pitch count and use that defense. But if you're the Royals, you just got to get a little bit of back underside of that baseball and send it flying.
Now Cuthbert taking strike 1.
But that's a good mindset for a pitcher. You gotta love that. I'm going to attack the zone. I'm going to put the pressure on the hitter.
Cuthbert now down in the count, 0-2, and Schessler has a 3-game hit streak, 5 hits including 2 home runs. Both came in that game on Saturday.
.267 hitter with a runner in scoring position.
And then he swings and misses at that cutter and strikes out. So he strikes out the side, does give up 2 hits in the inning, and strands 2. Buck O'Neill legacy seat, and Jim has been coaching and mentoring young people for nearly 45 years while working as an air traffic controller. The Olathe native coached Little League, Babe Ruth League, and Legion Baseball for over 20 years. And after retiring from the FAA, he became the head baseball coach at Avila University, where he coached for 11 years, earning many awards, including an induction into the Avila Hall of Fame. And right now he's been coaching special needs students in the Olathe School District and currently coaching youth baseball for Mackin Sites.
Fantastic. Coach Jim, way to go.
Back to the top of the order in Carlos Santana. And Rex, you're part of a program here at the K today working with special needs athletes.
Yes, yeah. Royals alumni, Jeff Montgomery, several of the coaches, players were all out there just bringing smiles to special needs kids as they played at the Special K today. It was really awesome. Just because those kids aren't typical and can't play on typical fields doesn't mean they don't love playing baseball. Wheelchairs or not, walkers, you should have seen the smiles on their faces. The Royals made jerseys for them.
Your son Cade was out there.
Oh, Cade wouldn't have missed it. Look at the autographs they got on their jerseys. There's Paulo teaching hitting.
There's Cade hitting, getting a base hit.
That's a lot like his daddy's hack. Look close there. Young wanted that one.
The count 3-2. Santana does walk a lot. Last 2 years, 14 and 15, walked 221 times. He bangs that one high and deep, right center field. Cain back. It's gone. 1-0 Cleveland.
That makes each of his last 13 home runs solo shots.
Given up by Young.
That's right. And solo shots usually don't lose games for you. So it's the ones you give up with 2- and 3-run homers that hurt.
He's now allowed 18 home runs, and that is second in the major leagues, but he gave up only 16 last year in 123 and a third innings, but 18 this year in 43. Here's Kipnis seeing for the second time, and Jason takes high, 2-1. Two and two. Royal starters have been outstanding the last 3 games. Duffy, Ventura, Volquez only allowed 1 run in 20 innings. He strikes out Kipnis for out number 1.
Chris Young coming back with that slider. Starts out belt high, ends up around the ankles. Good depth.
Now LINDOR, who singled his first time up. Now 15 for 31 against Kansas City.
You know, that last pitch he struck Kipnis out on, it looked like a curveball. It had so much depth to it. It's interesting though, when you ask a pitcher what is that pitch, he'll say slider.
LINDOR comes through again, gapping one left center field. CAIN able to backhand it, so LINDOR will hold at second base with a double.
LINDOR, he's so successful this young in his career because he has the ability to use the whole field. He's not a dead pull hitter. From both sides of the plate, he has an identical stance.
Now Napoli, who grounded into that first inning ending double play. LINDOR goes, and Young has him picked off. Cuthbert with the throw. Escobar tags him out. What did LINDOR do wrong there, Hud?
He didn't see Young throw home very many times on Napoli. Okay, he hadn't thrown him a pitch. You want to see his move first. You want to be able to see what he's got on his pitch home. A little bit anxious. That's a big out right there.
Oh, it's time for stickers on a warm summer evening in Kansas City. Temperature in the 90s. That ball roped down the left field line, but foul.
Young having a hard time getting ahead. Just 5 of 13 first pitch strikes. And it's important that you get ahead of hitters so you can finish them off on your pitch.
Mike will see a lot of pitches per plate appearances. Averages just under 5 per plate appearance, which is the most in the major leagues.
He's got Napoli looking up there. Young shook twice.
And then he waves at that wicked slider at 82 miles an hour. Young gets a couple of strikeouts in the 3rd, but Santana goes deep. 16 Malibu. By Panera Bread, food as it should be with 24 Kansas City metro locations. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price, every day. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, and Gerard Dyson going after the first pitch and grounding out to Mike Napoli. Royals going with speed in this inning with Dyson, Merrifield, and Escobar before Hosmer and Cain.
You almost have to be 100% convicted on the pitch you're going to get when you're hitting ninth and you swing at the first pitch and you make it out. It's tough. Now you got to wait all 8 batters again before you can see him.
Merrifield had a deep fly out in the first. He was just the second Royal in franchise history to get his first triple and home run in the same game. Jim Wolford did it back in 1973 against the A's.
Jim Wolford, Visalia guy, Visalia, California. Good player, and you know, Wolford, he played a lot of different positions, like WHIT.
Jim mainly was in the outfield, though. In there, 2-1. Bunt try, but foul. Now the count even 2-2. We had Ramirez back at third.
Changeup, picked a good one. Just had the bat angle a little bit too much towards third base.
Now WHIT taking his time getting back in that box. Tomlin throws a lot of cut fastballs to get his strikeouts. Merrifield sends one high in the air.
He got it.
Deep to left center field. That's a way back, and it is gone. Who is this guy?
Whitley Merrifield. So you ask yourself, why would you even think about bunting when you have that kind of pop? And he hit the first ball the first time up to the opposite field at 400 feet. He likes Tomlin. I could tell by the flight of the ball, the air, the humidity tonight, the way he hit it.
Escobar goes after the first pitch and flies out to center field. But Rex, you and I were having dinner tonight with the great Hall of Fame scout Art Stewart, and also former terrific Royals player and manager John Wathen, and we were discussing Whit Merrifield, why so many teams did not go after this guy when he was not protected in the draft. When you have to protect 40 players back in December, and everybody on the coaching staff wanted him because he had such a terrific spring and proved that he could play so many different positions.
Well, National League scouts, the 15 teams there, they're going to miss sometimes on players. That's the only thing I can think of. Some guys slip through the cracks, and the Royals are fortunate because you could have taken Whit Merrifield in that Rule 5 draft, and he would have been your guy. He'd have been a starter for sure. But he's waited his turn in the minor leagues, and now you can tell that when he gets in that batter's box and on the field anywhere, he's saying it's my turn now.
And Ned Yost was telling the media before the ball game, he said, you know, Hosmer and Moustakas and Perez and Cain come up and you go, they have ridiculous baseball skills. But he goes, Whit Merrifield, the best compliment I can give him, he's a complete baseball player. Hosmer to center field. NAQUIN says he has it. He does. Whit Merrifield keeps on hitting. He is hit now in 20 of his 22 career starts.
Oh, he's got it going. Look at that beautiful follow through.
Indians. Merrifield for the Royals, a 1-1 score heading to the 4th. Chris Young to face Jose Ramirez. Ball 1. Jose flied out to center field first time up. He was on fire in that series in Cleveland when the Tribe swept the Royals. But he's cooled off since. Just 5 hits his last 31 at bats. Just barely missed. Our Missouri lottery pitch tracks looked like a strike.
A little low, but a lot of depth. Slider looks good.
To right field. Paulo back. Just barely enough room. It is carrying tonight. Hot, humid evening. Now it's time for tonight's T-Mobile Greater coverage of baseball. Ichiro Suzuki, your thoughts on this as he's getting ready to, well, he entered tonight with 4,255 hits, 1,278 of them in Japan, and he is just 23 away from 3,000 in the big leagues.
That's the only numbers that count. Get you 3,000 hits, you're a Hall of Famer for sure. He'll be the first Japanese-born Hall of Famer. All those other professional hits he got came in a 4A league. I know, I played there. Don't count.
Ty Cobb had 4.191, and then Pete Rose eclipsed Cobb back in 1985. Strike in there. Chisenhall walked his first time up. Pass Chris. Merrifield has to charge. Nice play. 2 out. Let's go to Joel.
Well, we know how prepared Rusty Kuntz and all the coaching staff is, and Rusty has all the statistical data just like Mike Jerschele, so he knows where to position the outfielders. But it's more than just those spray charts, guys. Talking to Rusty, he says he keenly watches his pitcher and his catcher, and if Salvador Perez's glove is moving too much and the pitcher's not hitting his target, he may make some subtle adjustments. If that glove is coming up too much and the pitch is not hitting the target, may move everybody back in the outfield. Glove going down may move everybody in, so he's making adjustments as they come. That ball, Gerard Dyson will get to that one, guys.
Watch this. With another assist, number 7 this year.
Dyson picks it up barehanded, knows that he's got a tremendous weapon. If he can just put it accurately on the bag, got him. Big pick-me-up.
Thoroughbred Ford. Ready for a great deal on a new Ford? Then it's time to go to Thoroughbred Ford. And by USAA, insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community. Gerard Dyson, boy, he has some kind of arm packed in that small body, but boy, comes out like a rocket.
Well, he throws directly over the top, so there's really no tail or sail to his ball when he lets go of it. He has very good technique, and the amazing part of it is throwing after picking it up barehanded. You don't see a lot of outfielders pick the ball up on a ball moving down the line barehanded. He was very sure of himself. It's plays like those on the defense that are going to help Chris Young tonight.
Our all-star balloting. You can vote for your all-stars. Lorenzo Cain leading in one of the outfield spots. The most votes by the outfield goes to Mike Trout, but Salvador Perez is the leader at catcher, and Eric Hosmer at first base. Hit sharply with right at LINDOR, who gobbles it up, throws him out. Our sprint trivia question as Salvador Perez walks to the plate. Name 3 of the 5 catchers to be named MVP of the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Wasn't Sandy Alomar an MVP in an All-Star Game?
Could have been.
And I'm just guessing, back in '73, Johnny Bench, I think he had a pretty good game here at old Royal Stadium, refurbished, now named Kauffman Stadium. Fouled back. He left that fastball up for Sal.
Infield on the left side playing Salvi to pull. Outfield as well.
He's gone back-to-back fastballs.
Yep, you got to be careful out over the plate with Salvi. So Tomlin's trying to jam him.
Salvador with a 5-game hit streak. 10 for 20 last 5. Struck out looking first time up.
It's a good spot. That's the pitch that Tomlin had a lot of success on in his last start against the Royals. There's the former All-Star MVP.
Now I was just guessing, but I thought Sandy had an MVP in an All-Star game.
I believe it was 87. 97, excuse me. In Cleveland. How about that? Hometown guy gets the award.
Ground ball left side, fielded by Ramirez, and he will throw out Kendrys Morales. So good bounce back inning by Tomlin after he gave up the home run to Merrifield in the 3rd.
Play of the game so far. Our premier Mazda game break takes us to Fenway Park. Manny Machado, number 17 on the year. That's a 2-run shot off of David Price. Jackie Bradley Jr. and Jonathan Scope have also homered in that game. As for here, very nice of Gerard Dyson to interrupt the story before with his team leading 7th outfield assist. The major league lead on the day coming in was 8 from Starling Marte. Guys, was talking about Rusty Kuntz, and so he's watching that glove position, and if the glove starts coming up too much from the target, then he might try to back them up. Down might move them in. Another interesting thing that he'll look at is some of those hitters that wear the elbow pad, maybe leaning over the plate, might lead to more of a pull-happy hitter, and so maybe make an adjustment on that. If the front elbow's popping out, looking to go opposite field, making an adjustment on that. So it is a constant game, HUD, of not just scouting reports, but adjusting to what your pitcher is doing and if he is hitting his target or not.
Yeah, Joel, this guy we're talking about here is one of the best coaches in the world, for sure. Major League Baseball, the Royals are happy that they have him. But, you know, when you see that many games, as Young takes care of NAQUIN, when you see that many games from the dugout that Rusty has, and you're specifically coaching outfield, you pick up things like that. The little things sometimes in this game is what makes the big difference. So they're extremely blessed to have him.
And Rusty's been with us in some capacity or other since 2008.
Little things turn into big things.
You know, with all this shifting in baseball by the infield defense particularly, Rex, the pitcher still has to execute his pitches for that shift to work.
Yeah, it's a calculated risk, and it's a gamble some teams are willing to take.
Dylan G starting to warm in the Kansas City bullpen. As Young at 77 pitches. They'd love to see him go 5. Chris had that second inning where he walked a man, gave up a base hit, a stolen base, where he threw 27 pitches, but only 9 in the 4th. 3-1 count to Davis. You don't want to walk this guy with his speed. He's shown power this year as well with 6 home runs already.
Been struggling though, and you could tell by that last at bat, Chris Young got him to swing at a pitch with 2 strikes that he abbreviated the swing. He started to swing and stop, so he was definitely not sure of the pitch that Young was throwing.
Just high, ball 4. Third walk in the game by Chris. Fans vote for the Royals Player of the Month at one of the 7 Rally House locations in the Kansas City metro area. All participants will be entered to win a majestic prize pack. Hosmer had an outstanding May. So did Lorenzo Cain. Whit Merrifield is having a fantastic month of June, and he is a candidate. Both those guys would tell you it's all about wins. The Royals started the day 2 games back of Cleveland for first place in the Central. Here's Santana, who took Young deep in the 3rd.
Home run in the 3rd inning. It was a ball that didn't quite get above the belt, and he caught it just right. We talk about calculated risks on the shift. Mike Jerschley is counting on the fact that Santana is going to pull the ball on the ground. That makes Escobar the swing man. From a double play from this side or that side, he's going to be the pivot guy. He'll be the guy that goes to the bag.
Boy, Davis had a huge lead but did not go, and there's the pop-up, and Cuthbert, oh my goodness, it drops.
Well, that's a byproduct of the collision they had earlier in the season. Cuthbert, he came running in. He looked at Salvi. Salvi looked like he had it, and then he just backed off and let Salvi had it. And I'll tell you, that's from Cuthbert realizing that he almost hurt Salvi and put him out for the rest of the year.
They had a collision chasing a foul like that, and Salvi missed 6 games with the left quad contusion.
Right. Fortunately, it was a foul ball. But you hate to give an out away. But that's what that's from. Francona, he wants to see if they can do a review, but I guess not. He thought maybe Salvi touched it before it went foul.
But this is a dangerous batter that you give an extra opportunity to.
Yep, he never touched it. It landed foul. And he didn't touch it anyway, so it's all good.
Close play.
Davis has 15 steals on the season, been caught 3 times.
He's got that oven mitt on.
Yep, keeps him from jamming his wrist
and burning his fingers.
That's right.
Woo, awfully close.
Young very quick with his throw there and accurate.
And Chris kind of peeked in at Ned Yost, who says, let's hold it for a second. We want to take a look at this. Looks like he got back.
I don't even think he tagged him with that angle.
Chris already picked a runner off. That was Lindor, who wandered off second base.
Hope that out that the Royals gave them won't hurt them.
Davis goes. There's Salvi's throw. Well, it is ruled safe for right now, but let's see if Escobar wants to get him to check it.
Excellent jump, but a cannon of a throw. High fastball. Salvi cleared, set his feet right over the top. Let's see if Esky held on to the ball. Yep, looked like he got his hand in there. He beat it. That's a perfect base stealer that you can drop the gate on. Block the base with your knee. He never gets in and you get it out. And some players like to do it. Some others aren't comfortable doing that.
Big part of this ball game. A strikeout, then a walk. A misplay on a pop-up on the infield, followed by a stolen base. Dangerous count on a guy with power who belted his 13th home run of the year back in inning number 3. And Jason Kipnis on deck. How much does Young have left? He has thrown 86 pitches.
Well, this is the big test for Young to see if he can get through this inning. Most likely his last. He
walk Santana, back-to-back walks to Davis, now Santana, and here comes Ned, and he wants Dylan G. He wants a fresh arm.
Yep, I can agree with this move here. Chris Young, nice job. Kept the ball in the park, all but one solo homer. Kept his team in the game. That's the Chris Young Ned Yost was talking about today. Nice job.
Starts early because every Thursday home game is Buck Night. Come enjoy Royals baseball while saving some hard-earned cash. Enjoy delicious hot dogs and peanuts for just $1 a piece. Get your tickets now for a Thursday Buck Night by calling 800-6-ROYALS or go online at royals.com/promotions. And the Tigers will be in town for a Buck Night game on Thursday. Dylan G is the new pitcher. He'll be facing a left-hander in Jason Kipnis. That's what makes that bottom stat HUD on lefties 346 with 4 home runs. A little dangerous.
Well, you know what? Ned Yost knew that Dylan G was going to be his bridge guy to the bullpen anyway. He's a long man. He's got 4 nice pitches, and just because those numbers might be a little bit high from left-handers, G has never faced Cleveland before, and Kipnis has never seen Dylan G.
And Dylan does have a good sinking fastball, also a good changeup that gets a lot of double plays. So the Royals have turned 4 double plays in this series already. 3 last night and 1 tonight.
Curve and a slider to go with it. 4-pitch guy. That would be ideal. He could roll up a little ground ball double play.
Ball 1. And Dylan was recalled from AAA Omaha on Saturday. He was a starter for Omaha. Took a 3-1 loss to Nashville on June 6th, allowing 3 runs in 6 innings. So he's stretched out. Back up the middle. That's a base hit. Rounding a third and coming home is Davis. The throw by Lorenzo Cain is not in time. 2-1.
Well, that ball whistled right by G's ear. Kipnis right on that fastball. Oh, that ball's right in the middle of the plate. You got to stay out of that middle. Lorenzo, nice throw. How he gathers himself, gets some momentum on the throw, stayed on top just a little bit late. Davis is a hustler and a guy that can fly.
Lindor is 2 for 2 with a single and a double.
You see Kipnis making that motion to Lindor, and he was making that motion to remind him any ball that bounces in the dirt, be ready to advance. He was given the curveball sign to LINDOR.
One ball, one strike. Well, he has him down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, you see that's Santana ahead of him. He was given the curveball sign to Santana, the base runner up there. Just to alert him to be ready to move and take advantage on the ball in the dirt.
Popped him up. Not enough room for Cuthbert. It's about 5-6 rows back. G in his last relief outing before joining the starting rotation, he held the Yankees to 1 run on 3 hits and 5 1/3 innings in relief of Chris Young. In the dirt. Blocked by Sal, no advance. Three and 2. The kid stays alive. I'll tell you what, who would you rather have, Carlos Correa, the dynamic young shortstop for the Houston Astros, or Francisco Lindor?
Either one of them would be fine with me. I like the fact that LINDOR bats from both sides of the plate. He's so good from both sides.
Left center field. CAIN tracking it, runs it down. Santana will not advance.
Let's go back to that out that the Royals gave the Indians earlier in this inning. But let's show you why. A couple weeks ago, this was a day game here. Cuthbert never looked down. Never looked down. Never saw Salvi and almost took him out. Okay, so almost in the same spot. Here's tonight. Cuthbert comes in. He looks at Salvi and he backed off of it. So that's what that caused, and so now they'll have to just iron that out. That's Cuthbert's ball all the way. Call him off, but he was playing deep, so you really can't blame Cuthbert for it. There's no blame there. But usually a third baseman, a corner, is going to have priority over the catcher any day of the week.
Napoli has grounded into a double play and struck out swinging, facing Young. This time Salvador takes control. Hosmer lets him have it. The Royals do give up 1 in the inning. Charge to Young. of time left in this one, and Josh Tomlin will face the bottom of the order, Orlando, Cuthbert, and Dyson. Orlando singled his first time up, and Tomlin worked him inside with fastballs. There is strike one.
Tomlin has tremendous mound presence to go with his 4 pitches, including his little cutter. Ned Yost called Josh Tomlin before the game a poor man's Greg Maddux. Maddux, if you're not familiar with him, Hall of Fame pitcher, could really dissect the corners of the plate, keep the ball down, change speeds.
And this is a guy who was a self-made player because he was the Indians' 19th round pick in 2006 out of Texas Tech.
And so far in this game, that curveball right there has been the equalizer. Just showing it one time per at bat gets him to swing at it.
Gets that cutter to strike him out. Here's the action with 3rd inning home run by Santana. And then Merrifield in back-to-back nights. He goes deep, tying the game.
Oh, such a pretty swing.
Cuthbert was carved up his first time by Tomlin and struck out swinging on 3 pitches.
And it was the curveball, the second pitch, that really got in the back of his mind. That's the one he wanted. He missed.
Now it's Tomlin with all the options on 0-2.
Yep. So here it is. Cuthbert seen a couple of good curveballs already. He has that in the back of his mind, but he cannot look at that pitch. Only if it's close, just foul it off. He's still got to look for fastball. Might try to come upstairs with it.
The Royals and Fox Sports Kansas City are offering a unique way for fans across the Midwest to enjoy a game at the K. It's the Forever Royal Fan Express. Fans in designated markets will have the opportunity to win a trip to the K. Next stop is Topeka on June 18th. Go to Royals.com/FanExpress for more information. Way high, 1-2. The Royals very likely without 2 of their top relievers, Herrera and Wade Davis, who have worked a lot lately.
Ned Yost is counting on Dylan G to pick up as many innings as he can.
There's a line drive base hit to left field, so Cuthbert made the adjustment, got that cutter, and rifled it to left.
Yep, that's what you look for, and that's mistakes. Tomlin didn't want to throw it down the middle, and he did, and he got it. You can't miss those, and there it was, right down the middle.
Let's see if Dyson can come through. He's been going through a little bit of a hard time offensively. Just 2 hits in his last 18 at bats, and grounded out on the first pitch he saw from Tomlin to start the 3rd. We saw him in Cleveland. He's got quick feet, good move.
He's a good athlete for sure. And Gerard Dyson, the reason he threw over there with Cuthbert not a natural base stealer, but with 1 out here, maybe he's thinking there could be a little hit and run going on. I don't think you put it on the first pitch, because Dyson swung at the first pitch his last time up. Dyson's been staying in the middle of the field mostly this year with his hits. Wants something up. He's used to being pitched up in the strike zone. He's been working on staying on top of the ball, trying to hit the ball on the ground so he can find a hole. There you go. Biggest hole in the diamond right by the pitcher.
Cuthbert with the 1-out single. Dyson awaiting the 1-1 pitch. Royals won their 3rd in a row last night, 2-1. Volquez over Carrasco. Merrifield was the hitting star with a triple and a home run. He's on deck. They appeal. Dyson did not go.
Yeah, nice job. Now that's been his out pitch for the most part, that big curveball. But you know what Tomlin does is he feeds off of guys that take big swings. He wants you to take a big rip on him because you fall right into his trap.
Seems like he preys on a hitter's ego.
That's right. Best way to attack him is just try to stay short to the ball. Find a hole.
Strikes out Dyson. 5 for Tomlin tonight. It's our University of Kansas injury report. Terry Collins, the New York Mets skipper, missed Sunday's game in Milwaukee with an illness and was hospitalized. He flew to New York yesterday and managed the Mets tonight versus Pittsburgh. So welcome back, Terry.
Yeah,
he's a baseball lifer.
Glad he's better.
Mickey Callaway is coming out to talk with Tomlin about how to pitch to Merrifield, who's obviously pretty hot. Base hits in 20 of his 22 career starts in the big leagues.
Well, I think Mickey Callaway knows that Tomlin knows how to pitch to Merrifield. I think they're talking about just location, maybe what they want to do with Escobar on deck, who hasn't been near as hot a hitter as Merrifield. We'll show you 3rd inning. The Dodgers drive the game. Look at that. He posed. He had a pose with his follow through. I mean, that was one of the prettiest swings from a right-hander. You normally don't get that comment, a pretty swing from a right-hander. Left-handers, yeah, but he held that pose that last second. That was a nice shot.
Rex, it just seems like he has a very quiet delivery. Very short to the ball.
He is. He's a bottom hand guy with takeoff, takes off his top hand, stays in the middle of the field for the most part, but bat head stays very level through the zone. But I like how he stays inside. He's always using the big part of the field, and he's been selective. He doesn't go up there just swinging.
Too legit to win. Took him a while to get to the bigs. He's here, and he wants to stay, and playing like he'll stay. Popped him up. Kipnis. Royals leave 1. We head to the 6th inning of play. Cleveland 2-1. discover great deals during the Jeep Drive and Discover event. Steve Physiak, Rex Other, Joe Goldberg, and Jeff Montgomery with you at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Another pitching evening, even though it seems to be an offensive weather night. But Young went 4 1/3, gave up just 2 runs. Josh Tomlin has worked 5 innings and given up 1. Now G with his first start of an inning after he took over with 1 out and 2 on in that 5th. Paints the outside corner to Jose Ramirez, who's down 0-2. And then bounces a curve a little short. To the right side. Merrifield gobbles it up and throws him out.
Well, that's solid concentration. Whenever you're fielding a ball to your left, going back with the lip of the grass and the dirt. Look at him. He watches the ball all the way into his glove. Very important.
That's back up the middle. Merrifield will backhand this one. Long throw, but not in time to get Lonnie Chisenhall, who reaches on the infield hit.
Oh, had it been a lesser runner, WHIT would have gotten him. Boy, that's showing a lot of range. He's playing Chisenhall to pull. Look at him. He took like 15-20 steps and fires it. Short hop. Great pick by Haas. Beautiful practice for the next time.
Now Yan Gomes, who broke out of a 4 for 38 slump with a single to left field, but then Gerard Dyson made a terrific throw from left to gun him out at second base, and that ended the 4th. Let's answer our sprint trivia question. It was about catchers who have been named MVP of the All-Star game. We guessed Sandy Alomar, Johnny Bench.
How about Pudge Rodriguez?
Pudge or Gary Carter.
Carter's a good guess. Let's see what they got tonight.
Carter did it twice.
Steinbach.
Alomar, no bench.
Piazza
did it. Brian McCann.
Way to go, fellas.
Well, we got 2 of them.
Yeah. Fans. And questions for the fans anyway. I'm sure they got them.
Where they got right on the hands of Yan Gomes, and there was nothing he could do with it other than foul it off. Holy cow, that ball had a lot of late run to it.
Sure did. He didn't want to swing at that.
Escobar, 1, 2. Wow.
What a beautiful turn. Escobar gets it over to Whitley. And can we get a witness? Whitley's been unbelievable. Look at him turn that ball like a champ.
slam inning. Our contestant is Kathleen Summers from Lake Tapawingo, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Kathleen will win $400. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Kathleen will win $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, joined now by Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. And Monty, the first question I wanted to ask you is just your thoughts of Chris Young and his start tonight.
He looked a lot more like the Chris Young that we saw most of last season. I like the fact that he was able to get a little bit of life and finish on his pitches.
You noticed that right away with his slider, with his fastball?
Well, the real key for him, he needs to be above bats and below bats, and that's a key. When he's got a slider, he's under the bats. When he's got his fastball, he's above the bats. Got to stay out of the middle of the bat.
And on a hot night, we expected the ball to carry, and the one home run that was hit off of by Santana barely cleared that right field wall.
Well, we know even when he's at his best, there are times that he's going to give up those home runs because of the fly ball frequency.
In your open tonight, you talked about Josh Tomlin. Tell us about the Cleveland pitcher and maybe the adjustment that Eric Hosmer must make.
Well, he's a guy that you have to be ready for because he's going to come right at you. He wants to get ahead in the count. He wants to throw those first pitches. Now, he has the ability to throw off pitches, first pitch in the count, so he's not always going to be throwing that fastball.
And our Academy leaderboard is about Eric Hosmer. He's hitting .358. Third highest batting average versus right-handers in the major leagues. Only Daniel Murphy and Starling Marte are ahead of Haas. Tying run at first with good speed. Tomlin, though, has an excellent move.
Let's take a look at Tomlin, what he's done first, second, third time through. First time through, hitters have been jumping on him early. He's been able to figure out hitter second and third time. But Eric Hosmer, we know the third time he's faced a pitcher in a game, he's hitting well over 400. We'll see what he can do here. Eski's not getting too far off the bag. Going to play it safe right here. He's been thrown out the last couple of attempts he's made. He's just going to play it safe. And why would you risk making an out there with nobody out in the meat of your order coming up?
Hosmer to right. Backing up, though, he didn't get it. And it's caught by Chisenhall, and Escobar back to first base.
Yep, he just got in on him a tick. You could almost tell by the way it sounded. But Monty, what's amazes me about Tomlin is he's fearless. The guy goes out there and he just challenges hitters, and he uses the upper part of the zone for kind of like Chris Young does, and he's successful with it.
Well, the whole key is he trusts his stuff. When you trust your stuff, you don't have to be overpowering, overbearing when you have the ability to locate it. And that's the whole thing about him. He's got that nice curveball. He throws it to get ahead, and then he finishes out of the strike zone.
To me, the curveball's been his best pitch tonight.
It's a good one.
He doesn't throw it all that often, but he's showing it, and he's throwing them for strikes. Pitches inside effectively. Helped it. Home plate umpire Jim Wolf gave him a couple of those pitches in early in the game. Gets the Royals to swing at him. Haas just missed that.
That ball struck pretty well. NAQUIN back at the track to pull it down. So two long fly ball outs, and Tomlin doing like Young does, using this spacious Kauffman Stadium. You know, fans, nothing goes better with summer than fireworks, and Royals baseball on a Friday night in Kansas City. Summer fireworks are presented by Hy-Vee and Pepsi and take place after every Friday night home game this season through August. Visit Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS today to get your tickets. And Friday, the Tigers are in town. Big Slick is in town on Friday, so that's going to be a cool deal with Paul Rudd, Jason Sudeikis, and their friends. Rob Riggle here at Kauffman Stadium. Sal has struck out, flied out, but we told you when the game started, has had tremendous success against Tomlin. Now he is 13 for 22, but 0 for 2 tonight. Nope, did not go.
Guys, I had a chance to visit with Sandy Alomar earlier today talking about Tomlin. He said he has been one of the most pleasant surprises for this Cleveland Indians team. And you have to have that emergence from someone you don't count on to have that spectacular year to be at the top of the standings this time of season.
And I said earlier he was not expected to be part of the rotation when spring training began. And that's when Terry Francona made the decision to move Trevor Bauer into the bullpen and bring Tomlin back in. And Tomlin 8-1 in his 9 decisions.
You know, Salvi's so quiet right now. He's not jumping. You can tell he's in a groove. He's not flunching up there. He's not jumping to the ball. He's seeing it well, and he's letting the ball come to him before he even commits.
And I like him against Tomlin because Salvador Perez oftentimes he would chase pitches out of the zone. Tomlin's normally right in that strike zone, so I like his chances against a guy like Tomlin.
I'm going to throw him a 2-0 curve right here. Watch this. Good take.
Sure was. We've seen him swing at that pitch before, but now it's the first 3-0 count that I can remember Tomlin has had to a Royals batter. Good call, Hud.
I'm going to give him a green light here. If he's going to throw a fastball down the middle and Salvi can recognize it, hit it out of the park and take the lead.
He does give him the green light, and he pops it up into shallow center field. In comes NAQUIN to make.
No.
He did not make the catch. Escobar around third, almost was able to score, and Sal goes into second base.
Wow, you know what? NAQUIN with center fielder Brad Mills is their defensive alignment instructor in the dugout. Had NAQUIN way deep and also Rajai Davis deep, the left fielder. And so I could tell when the ball went up, I looked at NAQUIN. NAQUIN was looking at the infielder. Whenever an outfielder takes 4 steps and he's looking at the infielder, that tells me he's not going to be able to get to it. So a big break here. NAQUIN tried to do all he could, but he just couldn't glove it. Now let's see if the Royals can take advantage with 2 outs. Eske was scoring all the way. Jer said, please don't go. We've got Morales coming up.
Certainly one of those situations in the game, you take advantage of a mistake. The opportunities you're given, take advantage, cash in right here.
Because Cleveland took advantage of a Kansas City mistake in the 5th inning when Santana's pop-up was allowed to drop. It bounced foul. Santana walked, and then Kipnis came through with a base hit that scored Rajai Davis.
Morales needs to stay small and short with his swing. Don't get big and long, because we know Tomlin loves guys that swing for power. Morales has the ability to find a hole with just a short, compact stroke.
He was so good in the clutch last year. He was quiet in April, but since May 7th has really picked up the pace in pressure situations. .385 with runners in scoring position the last month plus. Runners 2nd and 3rd, 2 out. Just barely misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You notice Tomlin in his at-bats or his pitches against Morales staying up in the zone. Little leery of Morales with those balls down low, feathering it out to left field. He's staying firm upstairs on him, wants to pop him up.
Well, he's not missing by much.
You know what? I like his composure. You don't see him begging. You don't see him throwing his hands in the air or anything like that. That's a good pitch. That's exactly where he wants to pitch him.
Yeah, he couldn't have thrown it much better, but you're right. Just stay within yourself. Do what you can control.
Out back. Even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Escobar started the inning with a single. Hosmer and CAIN both with long flyouts. Perez then with a bloop double on a ball that should have been caught. Wow, that was close.
Morales didn't want that.
First base is open. A right-hander is next. Tomlin does not have to give in. Hold to the first baseman Napoli. The Royals strand 2. Well, today marks the U.S. Army's 241st birthday. USAA honors those who have served in the U.S. Army and all of our service members around the world.
Here in Kansas City, and Panera takes us around the league. Tampa one better for the moment over Seattle. Baltimore wins 3-2. Chicago was down 7 last night and came back and won. They were down 10-2 in this one. They've cut it to 10-5. And Houston right now over St. Louis. Our premier Mazda game break. Evan Longoria going deep. And we got a close one in St. Petersburg. The home run for Longo, and the Rays will try to hold on back here. It's Dylan G back on the mound.
Thank you, Joel. And Dylan G will face Tyler Naquin, Rajay Davis, and Carlos Santana here in the 7th inning. Young worked the first 4 1/3, gave up 2 runs. Got that one on the hands of Naquin, excuse me.
Monty, G can really up his stock with Ned Yost if he can continue to hold these guys down right here until he can get deeper in this game.
Well, he knows his job. Chris Young goes 4+ innings. He comes in and your bullpen's thin the way it is. You're probably without Herrera. You're probably without Davis tonight. So you need some length out of this appearance.
That time he worked him up in the strike zone with that 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Naquin with 4 home runs. They've all come in the month of June. He had him down 1 ball 2 strikes.
Starting to push the ball. Notice those last 3 pitches up in the strike zone. Got to get back on top.
That ball struck pretty well left center field. Cain, though, says he has it. He does, and there's one out. Fans come out to the K for the next T-shirt Tuesday giveaway courtesy of Hy-Vee. The first 10,000 fans through the gates on June 28th will receive a navy blue T-shirt featuring the famous "Let's Go Royals" chant. Get your tickets today at Royals.com. They gave away the "Keep the Line Moving" T-shirt today, and fans are all dressed in. Here at the ballpark as Davis steps up and pops it foul. Strike one. There's the "Keep the Line Moving" T-shirt they gave away to the first 10,000 fans. Guys trying to peek around the bacon on a hot dog. Into left, and there is Cuthbert to throw him out. 2 down. So G has faced 8. He's given up just 2 hits. The 1 hit by Kipnis that broke the 1-1 tie that scored Davis, who had walked and stolen second base. And also the infield hit by Chisenhall in the last inning. Now Santana, who's homered and walked. Cleveland has won 9 of their last 13 and 13 of 20 to move into first place in the American League Central. They have a 2-game lead over KC starting the night. High fly ball towards right, and Orlando chasing it, but it'll be back into the seats.
Nice job by the ball boy to get his chair and vacate the spot. Heads up play there, young man, without making the play.
Dillon with 35 pitches, 24 have been strikes. Santana, one of the more patient hitters in the American League. Takes a strike. It's 2-2. He has walked now 38 times. That's 5th most. Beg your pardon, 6th most in the American League. Jose Bautista of the Blue Jays led the American League starting the day with 47. Foul.
Yeah, Santana's a guy that when you face him, you know that you're going to throw more than likely a handful of pitches to get the business over with. That was a type of hitter that if I were facing him, I would try to throw a first pitch, get me over breaking ball, maybe get him to roll over. Guys like Wade Boggs, very selective guys. You don't want to throw 10 pitches in the at bat to these guys that end up having them on first base anyway.
Well, G will give it to Hosmer. He finally gets Santana out, and that's his best inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Indians in the 7th. local dealer today. We're all lit up here at Kauffman Stadium. A beautiful evening, warm night, hot and humid. But only 3 runs have scored. 2 by Cleveland, 1 by KC. Paulo Orlando will lead it off, then Cuthbert, then Dyson. But I will say this, Monty, Tomlin, last 2 starts, he did not make it out of the 7th inning. He has thrown 84 pitches starting the 7th.
Yeah, and he doesn't throw a lot of pitches on average. You know, frequently he's in a less than 100 pitch range for his game. So he's not stretched out to go 120, whatever. A lot of guys are going to go.
And Jeff Manship has started to warm in the Cleveland bullpen. To right field, in comes the right fielder. It will drop, and the Royals have the tying run on to lead off the 7th inning. Second hit for Paulo.
Paulo, he wanted to swing at that first one, didn't, so he says, all right, he's going to be in there with the second one. Just tried to serve it out there to right field, stayed behind it, and hopefully gets this rally started.
He rented a little space in the low cane triangle.
He did, as a matter of fact. Hitters like to call that area too water in the garden.
Here is Cheslor Cuthbert. Cuthbert gets the bunt down. They look to second, throw to first, and Orlando is now in scoring position. Impressive numbers for Josh Tomlin. First 75 pitches, hitters hitting 273. After that, 214. Yet, we told you, his last 2 starts did not make it out of the 7th inning. That's when the opponents got to him. Dyson grounded out on the first pitch that Tomlin threw him in the 3rd, and then struck out in the 5th. Hud, what adjustments would you like to see Gerard make after his first 2 at-bats?
I'd like to see him go the other way with the approach, keep his hands inside the ball. We've seen him try to pull balls, and it's not working, especially with that sinker. You got to stay inside and try to drive that ball to the opposite field so you don't roll over.
A lot of room between the 3rd baseman and shortstop as well. Lindor is moving over at the last minute. He's staying close to the bag to keep Paulo close so he doesn't get a good secondary lead, and then he'll move back over a little bit to cut off that angle in between he and the 3rd baseman Ramirez.
Chisenhall in right has 2 outfield assists. Rajai Davis in left has 6. NAQUIN hasn't thrown anybody out yet, but he's got a good arm. Way out of the zone.
This will only get Paulo to 3rd, but 2 outs now. So the kid comes up again. Advanced North Carolina. He's been too legit to WHIT, and tonight he has provided the only Royals offense with that solo home run back in the 3rd.
He's the guy you want up right now based on what's going on in the last several games.
Short, compact swing. They had a discussion before the last time he was up with Cuthbert on. And they were able to get Merrifield out on a pop-up. A lot of room in left center field as the center fielder NAQUIN has moved over towards right center. Strike 1.
Incredible strike thrower. I mean, just he challenges hitters from the very first pitch on.
92 pitches tonight, and 62 have been in that zone.
Attacks the strike zone.
No walks. 1-1.
The key for him, only throwing upper 80s, low 90s, is separation on the velocity between his changeup, his curveball, and his fastball. It doesn't matter where you're starting. If you're starting at 100, that's great. But if you can have that separation, you have a great chance if you're filling up the strike zone.
Royals do need a big hit from Whit right here, trailing by 1.
But one thing that's impressive to me with Whit Merrifield's swing is the fact that he doesn't seem like he's got any real holes. It's like he's so short and right to the ball. He's going to get to the pitches.
He's not creating his own holes by swinging at bad pitches out of the zone. That's how you find out holes. He's very selective.
Is that to set up the cutter?
Well, that was an intentional pitch. He wanted that pitch up. Hopefully that Merrifield would chase it. It wasn't as close as it looked, but now he's got a chance where he can do a lot with all of his pitches now down and away.
And mainly with his sinker and a little cutter, he's going to try to get a ground ball.
Yeah, he's got 5 strikeouts in the game, and a lot of them on that cut fastball in the mid to high 80s. Back up the middle, cut off by LINDOR. And we head to the 8th inning of play. Cleveland still by 1. The home run in the 3rd by Santana. Merrifield tied it in the 3rd, but then Cleveland had the go-ahead run in the 5th inning with a base hit struck by Jason Kipnis that scored Rajay Davis. Santana with the home run to give them the lead.
Yeah, and you know what? Whit Merrifield answered. I love that little pause, how he just paused with that follow-through. Beautiful sweep. And then Kipnis with a nice shot back up the mound. Glad it didn't get a part of G, but that's a good, short, compact swing, and that's where we are here. G versus Kipnis.
Dillon has worked 2 2/3 innings of shutout baseball. He did give up the hit by Kipnis in the 5th that gave them the lead. Of course, that run charge to Chris Young. 2-0 to Jason, who has been on twice with the walk and single. RBI was his 33rd.
Second time through the order now for G against the Indians. See if he does anything different, mixes in a few more off pitches. We'll see how he does.
Get back in the count here.
Strike, and it's 3-1. Hit sharply, but to Merrifield. That's a big first out after G had fallen behind a speed guy and Jason Kipnis. 3-0.
Earlier in the season, when Dylan G had a couple really nice longer outings out of the bullpen, Joel and I had a chance to talk to him on the pregame show one day, and I talked to him about, you know, multiple times through the lineup like he's going to do now. He said it really makes him a better pitcher because he has the ability to display all of his pitches more frequently.
And he was mainly a starter for the New York Mets. Merrifield goes to Escobar, and LINDOR is too quick and beats the throw. But that was an excellent idea, and WHIT almost turned what we saw in Cleveland when we were on that road trip.
Yeah, but this is natural here. I mean, you know, Esky can see it coming, and they both have quick hands. Escobar with a strong arm, but a lesser runner it would have worked on. Just like you mentioned Ramirez or LINDOR flipped it to Ramirez in Cleveland. Fizz, that play you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it was I believe it was Salvi running.
And that was the big difference here. Now Mike Napoli. LINDOR, good speed guy, 10 of 11, stealing bases.
What we're seeing tonight right now with both of these pitchers are guys that don't have that mid-90s fastball, but you know they try to fill the strike zone with the late movement with their pitches, and they know that the hitter is going to hit it but get himself out lots of times.
I mentioned I was talking with Sandy Alomar earlier about Tomlin. He said he's an executor. He executes his pitches, and that's exactly what Dylan G has to do. He has to execute all of his pitches.
In there. 2-1 against a very patient hitter in Napoli. Napoli bounced into a double play back in the first. The Royals would love that here. He also struck out and popped up. Now struck out in 13 straight games. Unable to get that tag down in time. Eric did look over, and Ned said, let's wait a second on this.
Salvi just cat-like quick. If you're a runner over there at first base, you've got to know that you can't get too far off. Ooh, now is he on the base? Maybe his right hand was on the back side of the bag. I guess it was. It's a better angle here.
First walk issued by G. And fans, Thursday the greatest golfers in the world converge on the historic Oakmont Country Club for the 116th U.S. Open Championship. Live coverage begins Thursday on FS1 and continues through the final round on Sunday on Fox, or you can watch it all live on Fox Sports Go. Ned Yost, meantime, with that walkout, having a discussion with Dylan. He has not made the signal yet to the bullpen.
Most of the time when Ned goes out, he makes a change, but it seems like Dylan G might be trying to talk him out of it. Nope, not going to work.
Ned is going to the bullpen. This is our Chevy pitching change. Joaquin Soria when we come back. Kochevar in the middle and Wade Davis on the right have all thrown a lot lately, and Wade Davis in particular not available tonight. First time pitching in 3 straight since September of 2014, and he threw 39 pitches and had to grind it through again last night to nail down his 18th save of the year. The Royals 2-1 victory, so it's up to Soria and the rest of that pen to keep Cleveland's offense quiet.
Well, absolutely. Then you hope you get a lead and then turn the ball over to somebody to let them close it out. It might be Joakim Soria for more than 1 inning.
Well, they have 1 out. Wouldn't it be nice for a quick double play and get Soria back in that dugout, let the Royals offense go to work? Didn't mean to do it down the line, but fielded by Cuthbert in foul territory, strike 1. Jose tonight is 0 for 3 and just 5 for 34 in his last 9 games.
Well, ground out of work. He's grounded into 3 double plays so far this season. Soria's got all 4 pitches. He'll use them at any time, including the big slow curveball.
Just misses outside. 1-1.
We've seen his velocity increase a little bit. Monty's like 90 to 94. We've seen some 94s in him. So he can add and subtract with that pitch when he wants to.
And even though he's been around, he made a nice adjustment where he's got his glove now out in front, about letter high, as opposed to down by the belt when he starts. He's got much better command. He has better stuff on the baseball as a result of that little change he made.
Why is that?
Well, he's able to separate and get his hands free a lot quicker, and he has more time to get on top. And then, as a result, you execute the pitch more frequently.
Because in the past his command was always so outstanding. In April it was not, but we've seen it here in June. Much better command. Two balls, 2 strikes. Jose Ramirez very good with runners in scoring position. That
seemed like a little too close to take. May have finished just off the plate.
Yep. Now a full count. He struck him out. Threw him a changeup on a 3-2 count.
Great pitch selection there. Most hitters 3 and 2 are looking for a fastball. But look at this. Monty, how about that?
You can see this, the split seams there with his fingers, and he's able to get the swing on it. Wasn't great location, but it was the velocity. It tricked him on the velocity.
That's right. It's almost had forkball rotation on it. It's more of a tumbling pitch when you're wider on the ball.
And Rex, you saw them both a lot over in Japan when you played there. Tell us the difference in the split and the forkball.
Forkball tumbles. You can see the rotation. Split finger, you can't. Your fingers are a little bit closer to the seams, and it has more of a fastball rotation. But the same result, bottom falls out. Very good pitches. But if they're up in the zone, they go a long way.
Now Chisenhall, who's walked and singled. Soria goes soft away, and 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 2 strikes.
You can tell Joakim Soria has great confidence in his changeup tonight. Great execution on that pitch.
Chisenhall, known as a good fastball hitter. Will he go off speed again? Ground ball, third. Cuthbert touches third. And the inning is over. Soria does a great job with a strikeout, a ground out, and the middle of the order's coming up with Escobar, Hosmer, and CAIN when we come back. The Indians have the lead over KC in Game 2 of this series. The final contest will be played tomorrow night here at Kauffman Stadium with our pregame show beginning with Joel and Monty at 6:30. It'll be Corey Kluber for Cleveland against Ian Kennedy for Kansas City. Currently, Royals trail Cleveland by 2 games in the American League Central. Brian Shaw coming out of the bullpen after Josh Tomlin worked 7 innings of 1-run baseball.
Yeah, Tomlin, one heck of a job this evening here against the Royals. Tomlin was mixing all of his pitches. Happy to see him out, although Brian Shaw, he's not that easy either. He's 90 to 95 with a cut fastball. Good cutter, big curve and a change.
Yeah, he's one of those guys with a cutter in the low 90s, much like Wade Davis.
Yeah, it has a little bit more of a break. He'll take use a little less velocity, and he gets more depth.
First pitch is a fastball up to Alcides Escobar. Esky with a base hit in the 6th inning. 2 balls and no strikes, but he has not had a multi-hit game since May 27th, and his batting average has tumbled to .245. Two and one.
One of the reasons is a lot of swings like that. Wish he would go ahead and get the home run out of the way. And then maybe he can go back to just shortening up his swing and finding some holes.
Three and one. Tomlin was all about command, and Brian Shaw does not want to walk the leadoff guy with that man waiting.
Esky hasn't had a walk since May 28th. That's going to find the seats.
Just 9 walks this year, and his slump and the lack of walks were the reason they moved him from the leadoff spot to number 2. Royals offense tonight provided by Whit Merrifield's home run, his 2nd in as many nights. Popped him up. NAQUIN takes care of him 1 out. MLB.TV Premium is the #1 live streaming sports service. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD at home, in the office, or on the go. MLB.TV Premium also includes free at-bat premium subscription. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Hosmer up. He's 0 for 3 and just 1 for 6 in this series. Francona worked around him in the 4-game series in Cleveland, and Haas wound up with 4 walks. Just 2 hits in that series.
Shaw, so far this season, he's been charged with a couple relief losses, both of them on the road. April 9th against the White Sox, and then on this road trip June 11th in Anaheim. So you can get to him, especially if he's going to elevate his pitches.
Strike.
Might have been a little bit off.
I'll say.
How about a lot off?
I think Shaw might go back there.
Why not?
Hosmer protecting that part of the plate, fouls it off. Lefty's hitting .293 off Bryant with 3 home runs. Combs and Shaw not on the same page, so we'll tell you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals. 1 out, the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shaw to Hosmer. 3-2. A chopper. Ramirez drops the ball. Hosmer safe.
Hosmer did all he could as he was off balance, falling out of the box, to stay on top of that ball and just chop it down, and that's going to be a base hit for sure. But the way Haas runs, Ramirez lost it in between the transfer from glove to hand, and that's what speed can do. It can force the defender to rush the throw, and he missed the handle. And AT&T high-speed internet replay will show you Haas earned that knock, an infield hit.
So now it's CAIN trying to come through with his first hit of this series. He is 0 for 7. Fastball up and in. This is a guy who came into today's play tied for the major league high for most game-winning RBIs with 9. He only has 1 hit off Brian Shaw. Time to change that. Two balls, no strikes.
Crowd of over 29,000 trying to help Lorenzo Cain lift one up and over the wall. Fastball coming, 2-0. Good hitters count. Oh. Just a little bit out of his zone. Four-seam fastball, straight as a string, but a little bit up.
Seems like everything he throws is that cutter with that spin on it. That one had no life to it at all. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Okay, now with 2 strikes, we'll see if Lorenzo Cain will shorten up and just try to put it in the low Cain triangle. Get the line moving here.
Full count.
See, 2-0 is a power swing count. So 2-0, he was coming out of his shoes on that pitch. But now with 2 strikes, he's not going to let Shaw get him on that one. Let's shorten up that swing and go to right field.
Do you send Hosmer?
I might.
He does not go, and the pitch is swung on and missed. And it was a pitch that may have been low.
Happened with the power behind him coming up, and Salvador Morales, he's not going to take a chance of getting Hosmer thrown out.
Perez hasn't had much chance against the Indian setup man, Brian Shaw. Just 1 for 12. Salvi with a drive. That's deep to left center field. And it is gone.
Salvador Perez with his 10th home run made it a beauty. The Royals are guarding their flag. Cutter that didn't cut. Salvi says, I got a cut for that one. Nice and easy, quiet swing by Salvador Perez. We talked about him in his last at-bat, Fizz. How quiet he is. He's not jumping. He's real still. And when the hitter's in a groove, watch him. Watch him. He just lifts up that leg, loads up his hips, and just a nice, beautiful swing. I mean, his head was down on it, and he stayed on top of it. And what a timely home run for his 10th.
And then he got in that dugout and showed Eric Hosmer that biceps of the strength that he has.
That's right. He's a clutch hitter, Fizz. That's the 15th career home run in the 8th inning or later. Salvi has the knack for the drama.
Now Kendrys Morales, and he fouls it off. Well, he plays with such enthusiasm. They all do, really. Tight-knit group. Like you said, Hud, keep that line moving. That's the t-shirt they gave away tonight. Back up the middle. Morales, they get it to LINDOR, and how about that?
Wow.
LINDOR to Ramirez. Incredible.
That was
but not as incredible as this.
That's what I was going to say. Hey, look, that play's okay, but this is the big hit right here. Clutch.
2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th inning to give Kansas City a 3-2 lead. And without Herrera available, without Wade Davis available, Soria is going to close it. Remember, Boulevard Royals Live coming up after this ball game with Joel and Monty. And here's a guy who knows how to get it done. He was the Royals closer for so many seasons. He will face hitters 7, 8, and 9. Gomes, Naquin, Davis. Soria gets strike 1 across.
Last time Soria closed the game for the Royals, his tempo was super. He got that ball and got up there and threw it, and just went strike 1, strike 2. It's like he had it memorized.
Now he would get the win for this one, but he knows these pressure situations because he's been in so many of them, ranking 3rd in club history in saves with 161 and 5th in pitcher appearances with 327. He has Gomes down 0-2.
Right. I was referring to a serious and a meaningful ending of the game here.
Escobar backhands, guns it across the diamond. 1 big out.
Meaningful 9th inning for Soria.
The Royals won by 1 last night, 2-1. They have a 3-2 lead in the 9th, and here is Tyler Naquin. We told you about his power emerging in the month of June. He has 4 major league home runs, all 4 in June. Ball 1. One ball, 1 strike.
Okay, that's fair. Grid might show that pitch off the plate, but that's where Jim Wolf's been calling.
Strike 2. Soria has shown that exceptional changeup and that split finger pitch.
Yep, he's going to use all 4 at any time, but as a hitter, you're looking out over that plate for something that he makes a mistake with. Soria, just keep it down, stay on the corners.
Went with the fastball, but missed away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now he'll step off and take a deep breath. He struck him out.
You're right, Fizz. He's stayed with a changeup. Effective pitch, moving away from the lefty. The fans sense this victory here.
Davis staving in. Cleveland doesn't have much of a bench with Uribe still not 100%, and Jimenez from the right side and Martinez from the left. Base hit left field, and Davis is on.
Okay, now that's going to present some problems because, you know, Davis, he already stole his 16th base earlier. He's going to be off and moving again, trying to get in scoring position.
But Hud, that was off Chris Young. Soria holds runners much better
and has a very quick move. Good quick feet. Salvador Perez taking a little pressure off, cracking a joke, getting a little smile there. Saying, hey, look, let's just finish it up here, keep the ball down. He'll hit it at somebody.
You know, Salvador is a cool customer. He's very serious about his job, but you can tell he doesn't take himself seriously at all. Game played by men, but got a lot to have a little boy in you as well.
That's right.
Santana the batter. Strike one. Santana has struck out, homered, walked, grounded out. Just off the plate.
That's a perfect location for this situation here. You don't want to elevate with him.
Time called.
Davis measuring his steps over there. Veteran move. Call timeout. Make a little visual for yourself. Everyone knows he wants to go anyway.
So does he deserve a throw over from Soria?
He might.
Fouled back.
But now the fact that Soria is quick home, I mean, almost too quick there. He already has 3 balks on the year, so he got to concentrate on coming set.
And you remember what Monty was talking about, where he's a little higher with his set position.
Yeah.
So he doesn't drift on that.
Right, and he's made some adjustments with that, but he's going to combat that Rajai Davis stealing ability with just a quick hold and come set and go home.
Davis goes. Here's Salvi's throw. Safe. Royals will take a look.
Davis is incredible. What a jump. And is at full speed in a step or two. He's very explosive.
Don Wakamatsu on the phone with Billy Duplessis.
I'm not sure. Escobar, he put the tag down on him hard, but just like his 16th steal before this one, he got his hand in there.
So now the tying run in scoring position.
Look at it. Even they took a peek back. Salvi had to make a perfect throw right on the base to get him. Davis, 35 years young.
But now Soria can concentrate only on one thing, getting Carlos Santana out. Time had been called. They have Merrifield in shallow right field. Escobar almost directly behind second base. No play on.
Outfield deep. Rusty Kuntz has him deep. No doubles. Keep that run, that hitter off a second if he hits the gap. Oh, man, good spot.
Santana so patient at the plate.
Try the changeup. It worked earlier. Maybe it'll work again.
Missed inside, ball 4. Now 2 on with 2 out, and Jason Kipnis, who has been on base 4 times in this series, 3 hits, 5 times, a couple of walks as well.
Mike Martinez coming in. Get some speed out there. That's their utility player.
If you're Soria, what do you throw to get Kipnis out?
You just try to keep the ball down. If he puts it in play, you hope he hits it at somebody. Soria's not going to blow anybody away, so he's got to really make sure he finesses and keeps that ball out of the middle of the plate. Kipnis has a short, compact swing. He does damage to anything out over the plate. Got to really execute some pitches on this guy. He's a good young hitter. 250 coming into this game with runners in scoring position.
Ball one. Pickoff. Safe.
Oh man, Soria put that ball right on the bag for Eske. Eske with a good swift tag. It looked like it was awfully close.
Ooh, man.
Yeah. But just got his hand in there. Rajai Davis, 35 years old. Amazing, this guy. What condition he keeps himself in.
First, but foul.
It's not going to get any easier in this inning either, with LINDOR on deck. Napoli to follow. Top of the Cleveland lineup. See the outfielders playing a shade to the opposite field. Not quite as deep as they were when Santana was hit.
Once again, Cleveland down to their final strike. Two out, two on. Royals lead it 3-2. Soria facing Kipnis. Lace foul.
Ooh, man.
And that was a breaking ball he left up, but in enough where there's no way that Kipnis could keep it fair.
Oh man, that was a close one over there. It looked like it went off of Pope's head. Uh-oh.
We're done. Broke the camera.
Camera down.
Speed on first and second. Soria finally agrees, and now the 1-2. Hopped up. Chesler, Cuthbert, game over. The Royals are within one game of first place in the American League Central. Perez with another 8th inning dagger to the heart of an opponent. 15th time he's hit a home run in the 8th inning or later, and a W hung by KC.
Man, I'm telling you, what a baseball game it was tonight. The Royals, they take the series and looking for a payback in tomorrow's game.
And how about Joakim Soria, clutch as he was, no Herrera, no Davis available. Nedjo says, I trust a veteran who's been there before.
That's one of the reasons they perform for him. He trusts them. He believes they're all the greatest. They're like his children. Look at that smile from Ned saying, fellas, way to get the series. Let's step on their neck tomorrow.
So the Royals now 34-30. They've won 4 straight games and 8 now. 8 straight at home. And here's Salvador Perez down by 1, needing a big hit. And there it is, a goner to left. A 2-run blast, erasing a 1-run deficit and giving the Royals a 1-run lead, and they nail it down by a final score of 3-2. Right now, let's go to Joel who's with Salvador Perez.
All right, Biz, thank you very much. We'll stall here for a moment while Salvador Perez takes off all the catching gear. Congratulations on another win here. Let's start by talking about Joakim Soria on a night that Wade Davis and Kelvin Herrera weren't available, the job that he did.
You know, he threw a tremendous game.
I'll take it with you. It's cold. It feels good.
It's hot today, so I feel.
It is hot today. It's going to be hotter tomorrow. Let's do it again. All right. How about Joakim Soria?
Pretty good. You know what kind of pitch he has. He likes to compete, and that's what he do tonight.
How about the pressure there in the ninth, too? That's a guy that has been in this situation before in his first stint with the Royals. So how much does it help having Joakim have that experience?
Pretty good, you know, because we got confidence in him. We got confidence in all the guys in the bullpen. So I think it's no problem. When we know halfway David and Herrera, he can do in his side.
1 for 12 in your career against Brian Shaw. Now 2 for 13 with a home run. What was your approach when you got up there?
I got my same approach to every pitcher. You know, I just try to see the ball, hit the ball hard.
You guys have the best home record in the major leagues. 21 wins and 7 losses. What does it mean to play here at Kauffman Stadium?
Over there. That's the answer.
Great job. Thanks for the bear hug. Feels good tonight.
Thank you.
Salvador Perez.
Thank you, Joe. Salvador Perez, the hero tonight, caught 9 innings, throws his gum at Joakim Soria. Win or lose, Hud, they have a blast.
Series victories is all they want.